So ESPN did an early power rankings prediction for next season based on how they think the offseason could go, all that stuff. They have the Clippers number 2. After their disastrous round 2 series against the Nuggets, we all know what happened. Blown 3-1 lead, blown double-digit leads multiple times. The stagnant offense, the looking around of what do we do now, the side of the backboard threes. They're number 2. Credit, they gave the Lakers number 1. It took the Lakers winning a finals for ESPN to realize how good they were. But really, number 2, the Clippers? It's not like they have that many assets to make moves. Ty Lue is a good coach. I think he's fine. I think it still rides on Kawhi being a leader, and Kawhi has proven up to this point he's got no leadership qualities. The guy wants to be quiet and just just sink into a team and be the best player. That might be possible in San Antonio. Well, he wasn't the best player towards the end he was. And we saw it happen in Toronto, but with this Clippers team, that's just not really going to happen. Lou Williams has proven you can't trust him in the playoffs. Paul George has had too many questionable postseason moments. And we're just giving them number 2 again. With the Warriors coming back, with how good Denver looked. Denver beat them, as we may remember. And there's other teams, like Miami, for example. So, putting the Clippers back at number 2, I'm a little scared that we're going to do this again, where the media is going to forget what happened, and they're going to put the Clippers right back into that spot of, no, guys, they can do it again. Which, it shouldn't be ridiculous to think a team with Kawhi and PG can, go far, but at this point, it might be a little ridiculous, given what we saw from this Clippers team. So, to have them number 2, I think it's very generous. I don't agree with it. There's another one in this that I really don't agree with. We'll get to it. It's Miami's placement. I think it's too low, but yeah, the Clippers number 2. Really. Who's number 3? The Bucks. See, when I think about Miami, we see it right here. Miami's going to be at least number 5. Should the Bucks be this high, given what we saw from them against the Heat? Where not only did Miami beat them, but, they were up 3-0 at one point. I could talk about Lou Williams and how you can't rely on him in the playoffs. The same thing with Eric Bledsoe. And Budenholzer and his lack of adjustments and all that. I think ESPN has chosen to take the more safe approach with a lot of these, where it's like, yeah, we know what just happened this previous postseason, but we think that things will get back to quote-unquote normal, which, given how weird the bubble was, maybe that's fair a little bit, but I don't know. Would it have been gutsy to put Miami above the Clippers and the Bucks going into next season? Because I think the Bucks are still going to have a better record than the Heat. Because, Budenholzer's proven that he'll get you to 60 wins. I don't know, man. With the Heat and the Bucks, and when I bank on Bam getting better and Hero getting better, I'm sure Giannis will improve, but unless the Bucks shake up the roster a lot, did I really believe that they'll beat Miami? Anyway, we move on. Denver at number 4. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that Jamal Murray's going to a different level. Jokic is, of course, great. With MPJ, I think the question is, what can we really expect from him this upcoming season? ESPN's saying that Denver is above Golden State, which I don't agree with. But even then, when you start really diving into the little bits of the Warriors and their rotation and everything, it does start to get a little rough, and I think Wiggins is a bit of an X factor, and that could be a scary idea. But with Denver, I still feel like the roster needs more improvement. I think a guy like Drew Holiday would be really, really good for them. Someone who can, give them some defense, which they, of course, need, and a little more ball handling and stuff. Because I do think at times, Murray and Jokic are great and all that, but to have one other guy who could do a little bit more off the dribble would be good. And, Monte Morris is nice, but he's 6 feet, you know what I mean? So, and again, is MPJ that guy this upcoming season? I don't know. He could probably give him 15 a game or so. Have a couple big games. Maybe by the time the postseason rolls around, he's giving you 20 a night. That's probably too much to ask for, though. So, Denver at number 4, I think it's generous, maybe a little too much, but I don't know. Golden State's interesting. Who's number 5? The Dallas Mavericks are number 5. I love Luka, but really, We're putting Dallas over Miami right now. They say it here. They need co-star Porzingis to stay healthy. I don't trust Porzingis to stay healthy. I don't think he's played a full season yet. He missed time for them this previous year. And he missed time against the Clippers in round 1. I just don't trust Porzingis to play a full season and all that. So even if I can think that Luka is going to make improvements to his 3-point percentage, and I mean, hell, maybe Luka could improve defensively. Maybe the Mavs could make some nice moves, although I don't think they want to go too crazy because, as they say here, their max slot for a free agent will be in 2021. So maybe they don't do too much now, but still, number 5 in the whole league, above the Warriors, above Miami, above Toronto. I mean, Luka's really good. I just don't know if this is going to be the year where it happens. Now, if Porzingis is healthy, then maybe. Because I think they should, once again, be, if not the best offense in the league, then at least one of the best. Maybe ESPN's seeing something I'm not. I don't know. For as much as I love Luka, I just don't know if everything else is good enough as of right now, unless they have quite an offseason. 6, Golden State. All right, so we're going the Warriors, number 6. I mean, there's definitely questions. Clay's ACL. Is Draymond holding up? Because he's clearly not what he was of 3 years ago, let alone Defensive Player of the Year guy. Although that might have been 3 years ago. I don't remember. Is Wiggins going to be good? They don't have Iguodala. They don't have Livingston. They, of course, don't have KD, which means they're probably going to need more size. Because back when they had Durant, it didn't really matter if you were bigger than them. But now I think when you look at a team like the Lakers with AD and LeBron, Draymond is good. Clay is good. Kevon Looney's okay. But I don't know if they have enough switchy, tall defenders to go at those two. I think they need a real big guy, and there's been some talk about whether they'll want Wiseman or not, and I think he's a pretty good fit for them. I just did that whole thing about the second pick. To me, that's kind of the main thing with Golden State. All that being said, I kind of still think they're better than the Clippers. Kind of think they're better than the Mavs. I think they're better than Denver as well. Partially because, in the case of Wiggins, I don't even know if Wiggins is going to be that great, but I figure he's at least going to get a bunch of open shots. So if anything, he'll just give him a nice 15 points a game that's efficient enough. And then, of course, they still have the draft pick. So, yeah, I do feel good about Golden State. I as of right now, I guess my gut is that I kind of think they're the second best team in the West behind the Lakers. I don't know, maybe I'm going too hard on that one, but I think they'll be pretty good. My Celtics, number 7. See, even here, it's like, where is Miami, actually? Wow, Philly, number 8. Miami, number 9. Okay, so the 76ers and the Celtics above Miami. Do we agree with that one? I don't know. I mean, the Celtics certainly have room to get better, mainly with Tatum and Jalen. A couple of rotation guys, Grant Williams or Langford, if they show some improvement, or in the case of Langford, just simply playing more. Hayward, is he going to get through a whole season healthy? I don't know at this point, man. Seems like his contract is cursed or something. But it's like, are they going to be better than Miami? Because again, I project Bam getting better, Hero getting better. I also think Miami, I think they're going to re-sign Dragic to a 1-year deal. That's just my gut feeling. Maybe Dragic gets a multi-year offer from somebody else he really likes, but yeah, I think Miami should be ahead of the Sixers, the Celtics, although I can understand putting the Celtics above Miami a little bit more. I think in the case of Philly, I mean, Doc, I like Doc more than Brett Brown, but I mean, I don't know if anybody can fix their offense. So, yeah, the idea of Philly being above Miami, I don't agree with that. If I was picking this, I would have Miami above the Sixers, above the Celtics. I would have the Warriors way higher. I would have the Warriors and Miami above Dallas. And if you convince me hard enough, I might even have... Would I put Miami over the Clippers? I kind of feel like I would, to be honest with you. So yeah, I think Miami has been very underrated by ESPN in this. Brooklyn at number 10. Yeah, Brooklyn's dicey. I mean, you got KD with the Achilles. Kyrie's dealt with shoulder and knee stuff. If they want to keep Joe Harris, they got to go over the luxury tax. Their other guy, Karis LeVert, has dealt with injuries as well. We'll see if he gets moved or not. Brooklyn's just tough because I just don't know if they're going to be healthy. I mean, if they're healthy, then I think they leapfrog to like number 2 or 3, to be honest, in this thing. But, in the case of Kyrie, I mean, he played 20 games for him this last year. He missed 15 games with the Celtics in their disaster season. In his first year with the Celtics, he played, I think it was 60 games, and he missed the whole playoff run, so I don't know, man. Like, Kyrie's good when he's out there, but how often is he really out there at this point? You know what I mean? So, Brooklyn's tough. Toronto, number 11. Wow, Toronto, number 11. I feel like that's kind of low. I mean, I think they're going to keep Van Fleet. I feel like if they're going to keep Ibaka, it would be for a 1-year contract. You imagine Anunoby gets better. Maybe Siakam has hit his ceiling, but his ceiling's pretty good. At least in terms of regular season. He's got to improve for the playoffs, of course. But when I look at that, and when I look at how good they were in the limited amount of games we had, that's like 72 games, I feel like they should be higher, Like, I think, again, because of health, I think Toronto will be better than Brooklyn. Again, I think Miami would be up there. I think you should have Toronto over the Sixers. I think I would have the Celtics over the Raptors, but I would at least be pushing down Dallas in favor of the Celtics and the Raptors. So, for what that's all worth. Number 12, we have Houston. Yeah, Houston, they're pretty weird as well. I mean, there's a lot of uncertainty. They don't have a lot of room to make moves, but even so, number 12, it seems low, but then when I actually look at all the teams above them, I'm kind of like, well, I mean, for some of them I can rationalize it. And we don't know if Westbrook is going to be fine with, was it the quad that he was hurt with in the playoffs? Yeah, I mean, it's still James Harden, though, and Harden never gets hurt. I know there's uncertainty about a coach and GM and all that, but I do feel like the Rockets can, I guess, surprise some people if we're thinking they're going to be this. I mean, is it insane to believe that James Harden can get a team to 55 wins? I don't think so. Let's see. Are there any others that I'm really interested in? Utah, not so much. The Blazers, I wish it was higher, but I kind of agree with this. The team around Dame is just not that good. It's cool, it's okay, but it's not that great. Hopefully they're healthy. Hopefully they get somebody all right on a mid-level or whatever, and that's kind of that. OKC, I mean, the roster could look totally different. The Pacers at 16, yeah, the Oladipo thing, decide on 1 or 2 bigs, but yeah, this is probably fair. The Pelicans at 17. It's all down to Zion, pretty much. See, right here, we got the Pelicans 17, we got the Grizzlies 18. I'm not so sure the Pelicans are better than the Grizzlies, although it really just comes down to Zion's health. So maybe I do believe they are better. The Suns at 19. So between this group of Phoenix, the Grizzlies, the Pelicans, OKC, and the Blazers, I feel like Phoenix is the one who's going to make some sort of a win right now move. Because I just feel like they're so desperate to get back into the postseason, As far as what that is, I have no idea. Magic at 20. Without Isaac, they're just not that interesting. The Wiz, they will have a lot of shooting next season. Thomas Bryant, he's making jumpers, assuming they re-sign Bertans, Beal. The Spurs at 22. Is it insane to believe the Spurs could be a surprise team and jump above the Pelicans and the Grizzlies and all them? I wouldn't bank on it, but at the same time, if they get a season where Derek White and DeJounte both kind of go to another level, I don't think it's insane to believe the Spurs could finish a bit higher than number 22. 23, the Kings, they need Bagley, and that's kind of all I got. Atlanta at 24. Yeah, if John Collins doesn't get suspended again, then they could certainly finish higher than the 24th best record in the league. Minnesota at 25. Yeah, I mean, what they do with the pick is really interesting, and defensively they need to get better. The only dude who is going to go in the top 10 who I think could transform your defense overnight is Okongwu, but I don't think they should be looking at him because I don't think playing Towns with another big guy maximizes Towns' skill set. And 26, the Bulls, they've got a chance to be higher than this. I mean, there's talent. Hopefully Donovan gets marking on the ball and he instills more confidence in Wendell Carter that he can be an offensive player. And Levine is talented and puts up good numbers as far as how much he helps you win. I think we're going to find out this year. I just don't think they had a real chance with Boylan. So yeah, Charlotte at 27, cool. 28, the Pistons, yeah. 29, Cleveland, and 30, the Knicks. Yeah, okay, the Knicks number 30. We'll see what they do this offseason. Real quick aside with Cleveland, I really want the Celtics to trade for Larry Nance, because I feel like he would fit in so perfectly. Anyway, that's the end of this video. To remind you once again, Clippers number 2. I don't agree. I do not think they have earned the benefit of the doubt given their round 2 against Denver.